Hello, everyone. This is Political Perch on February 13th, and we are reacting to New Hampshire.
Yes.
So, I am Ashton,
And I am
and
Andy.
that's Andy. And let's get into it because it was a pretty big night for a
hmm
few people, not so big for some others. So, Andy, I guess the biggest news of the night is the Pete and Amy surges.
hmm
I think most people expected Bernie to do good. You were one of those.
Yep.
I
Let the
was
record be
not.
shown. My prediction came true. Bernie Sanders did, in fact, win New Hampshire. It was a close margin, much like in Iowa, but he did win. And let the record be shown that you were wrong. Andy was right.
Yes,
That's a point
yes.
for Andy.
So, yeah, eventually when we get the technology and the funds, we'll have like a little counter where your face has the amount of states you've been right about, and my face has the amount of states. Because guess what? Super Tuesday, I have no clue who's winning what states, especially if Joe Biden doesn't win South Carolina. But
Yeah.
we'll get into that a little bit later. It's turning into a pretty wild primary just because of how bad everyone's doing and not how good everyone's doing. So let's first get into the two big surprises: Pete Buttigieg, which wasn't a surprise to me, and Amy Klobuchar, which is neither of us thought she was doing good. And I think we put out our video before the debate,
Yeah.
or it was right after the debate. I know you didn't watch it, I watched it. One
hmm
thing I did note was her doing good. But she's been doing good in all the debates so far, and that hasn't helped her. But this time it did. So, what's your kind of reaction to her going to 20% and probably causing Pete to lose New Hampshire? Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of those late breakers went for her, not for him, and he only lost by 1%.
Yeah, I think if Amy ever decides to drop out, which is not going to come soon after her, I think when she finished third place in New
Mm-hmm.
Hampshire, correct? So now she has more of a reason to stay in the race. Um, Kind of like back in 2016 in the Republican primary, you saw how Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio basically split about 25-26% of the vote. Uh, they both are the moderate-ish candidates. Um, I think that you're gonna see that, like you said, Pete lost New Hampshire because some of those votes that would have went to him if Amy wasn't in there went to Amy, causing Sanders to get that his first win. Even though he's not technically winning the whole thing, did get the win in New Hampshire. Uh, Amy does have third, so she's not last in the delegate race, which is shocking to say the least. Um, and I just think Amy's got some momentum. I don't know how much it will carry her, not getting a win or not even getting second, but getting third. I don't know how much that will carry her, but we'll see coming up in Nevada.
Well, let me just point out technically, both Sanders and Pete got the same amount of delegates, and he is ahead. So, in some way, just like Iowa night, election night, we are both winners in our hearts.
Sure, go with that if you want to.
Yeah, I'll
Get that
go with that.
participation award.
Yeah. Hey, it's Democrats. Everyone gets a participation award. I'm sorry, Democratic listeners. We're having fun. It's actually going to be a competitive primary, and I think it's been a long time since either party has seen a party or seen a primary like this go all the way to the convention. Because I think really both me and you can agree
hmm
Bernie is the only one who could probably clinch it before the actual convention.
Yeah. hmm
Maybe I could see Joe Biden doing it if he happens to win shockingly strong in South Carolina, go on to sweep Super Tuesday, and just like blow through the rest of the primary states. But the chances of that happening now
Yeah.
are,
hmm
let, let's say, on the slim side. So, first, let's go over the delegate account. So Pete is winning by one. Do you think that lasts? Because Bernie is strong, but his strong suit isn't necessarily the South and isn't with diverse states. and he had a problem against Hillary Clinton last time. And I will remind people in the Bernie people, hey,
The
yeah,
Bernie gang. Bernie
yeah,
Bros.
yeah,
Bernie
Bernie
Bros.
Bros. Hey, congratulations, you won New Hampshire, but you won it literally with the half amount of votes you won it last 4 years ago.
And it
Like
wasn't as
he,
unexpected because of, Bernie Sanders coming from Vermont and them being very close together, same-minded. It wasn't that much of a shock win for Bernie.
well, I mean, he almost lost it to a gay Indiana mayor who isn't mayor right now. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and that's no hit against Pete too. He's doing great for his position and where he came from. So I guess moving on, really, do you think Biden is toast now? Because there's a lot of
I
speculation.
I do not think he's toast yet. If he cannot pick up South Carolina, um, he's toast. He has to win South Carolina. That's a non-starter. I think that he'll do very good in Nevada. I do not know if he'll win it. Went out to the prediction yet. I'm still trying to decide myself where I want to go with. But I know he'll do. I think he's going to go top three. Um, Obviously in Nevada, I think he's got a good shot at winning South Carolina. But if he doesn't and performs poor in both states, his campaign is pretty much done with. He'll be at a disadvantage moving forward. That I don't know if he will stay in it. I think because Joe Biden's Joe Biden, but I don't think he's really got a clear path forward after if he suffers 2 losses in a row coming up.
Hmm. I actually disagree with you because I think if he loses South Carolina and he doesn't come first, he drops out.
Oh,
Um,
you think it'll
I'm,
drop out?
I'm
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think he drops out after South Carolina. But I do think he will win South Carolina, and I
Yeah.
think he
Mm-hmm.
will do it convincingly. So it's going to be a
Completely
very
different states in
mixed,
Iowa and New Hampshire.
yeah, very different state. I think Sanders is making inroads on the African American community, but shockingly, he isn't second in South Carolina in recent polls. Do you want to guess who is?
Is it Warren?
No,
Is it Pete?
no,
Is it really Amy Klobuchar right now?
no.
Am I missing one? Tom Steyer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it.
Tom the
Yeah,
man. Tom the man,
I
because
knew
he
Tom
has
Steyer was gaining
literally
some
been
traction there
pumping
in
that
South
state.
Carolina.
He has been
Yeah.
pumping that state full
Mm-hmm.
of money, and I know you live down there right now, so you
I
probably
do.
see a lot of Tom.
Trust me.
Uh,
There's 2 candidates that I see every single day of my life, and that is Tom Steyer, Tom 2020, and the woman herself, Tulsi Gabbard.
oh
But
yeah,
Tulsi's got no shot. But I knew Tom Steyer was coming up. I was watching. I was looking at some of the polls, and he was slowly rising. It wasn't huge, but lately he's surged. And um,
he's a waste of a candidate. He really is. He's putting
Mhm.
all his money into South Carolina, and then
But good
it,
job, Tom. You got second in South Carolina. I mean,
yeah, I
here's
don't
your
see him
here's your
winning
I
South
came
Carolina.
and tried award.
It's going to be interesting primary because Nevada, they haven't done polling since like the 15th. So it's really Biden was leading, but that's not much. The culinary union down there, which is a big force in the Democratic caucus, they haven't endorsed anyone, but they're pretty much openly against Bernie. So I don't think Bernie takes it, but I also don't know if Joe will take it either. I'm kind of leaning towards Pete to win that caucus. And I know a lot of people are like, he keeps on picking Pete. Well, he has the most energy right now, and he's not my favorite out of all of them. And he isn't the one I would vote for or pick for in the primary. So that's just my objective analysis. I don't see Sanders winning. He could, but I don't see Sanders winning over those minority votes he needs to, and I don't see him winning over the union votes he needs to in Nevada. It's a lot different of a state than New Hampshire,
Mhm,
Iowa.
mhm. So you're picking Pete Buttigieg to win Nevada.
Oh, to be honest, I think it's going to be like a three-way tie. No one will know who won again.
But we'll get to that in a second. I want to move real quick to a sad day in Andy's life as we pay our respects to Andrew Yang and his candidacy. That is the
Started
world's
playing.
tiniest violin for anybody that doesn't get that. Um,
Ooh, oh
I miss
man,
him. I wish him the best, even though he's still a millionaire. So, um,
he'll be fine.
what a
He'll be fine.
man! What a campaign! What a legacy! He will be he will be missed.
He was an
Only
open
by
meme.
me, only by me. But
He was an open meme. He had a lot of
gang gang,
interesting ideas.
gang gang for life. Hashtag gang gang.
He, yeah, he had a lot of interesting ideas. I thought he was a thoughtful presence when he wasn't memeing, because he did do that sometimes, and that was a little irritating. Because I do believe we need more seriousness in this process, especially with the current president. So I didn't like
Come
that as
on.
much.
Even Hillary
But
Clinton did some of that back in 2016.
and she lost.
She won the Democratic primary though. She got the vote. She just lost to Trump. Which, to be fair, they both would have lost to Trump, honestly.
Well, Hillary Clinton shouldn't be your bar for excellence. I'm sorry.
Pokemon go to the polls.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I know we talked about it a little bit beforehand, but who are you leaning towards? Have you thought about it more? Are you?
This one's always tough for me.
If Andy is in the voting booth right now about to pull the
I am in the
lever,
voting booth right now.
who do you pull the lever for in this circumstance?
Is it? See, it's a tough decision because it's like I feel like I know who I want, just because of like lesser of evils in a way, in a sense. But then I gotta think, well, should I waste a vote here in a primary when it's so close, right? Who should I vote for? And I think that when it comes, because I'd be voting in South Carolina, a little shocker there, me living here. I think that was it a weekend from this weekend, the
Mm-hmm.
29th, the 29th. I think I'm gonna have to pull the plug on Pete right now. I think Pete Buttigieg is
Wow.
gonna get my vote, the primary, because Steyer's got no shot. Bloomberg's really got no shot, and kind of like what you're saying, he's nowhere to be seen. Hasn't been to one debate. Hasn't done anything.
So you're jumping off the Biden ship and you're going on to.
I like Biden okay, just because I think he's more moderate than Sanders and Warren, but I think Pete's younger, relates more to my generation, being in the younger side of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just time for a change. Someone that's not over 70, and Biden's going to be what, 77 when he takes office, or 78 if he wins, which is ridiculous. That
I don't disagree with you. I'm in Virginia, so I'll be voting 3 days after you on Super Tuesday. So
we get all the
that's
fun,
going to
and then
be
you
a
get
hectic day.
pushed in.
Well, I mean, people can drop out after South Carolina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my choices will be way more limited than yours. But at the end of it, so far, it sucks because the candidate I want to win is Amy Klobuchar, but the person I think I'm gonna probably end up having to vote for is Biden.
Wow.
Just
I didn't see you as an Amy Klobuchar fan, honestly, but
I mean,
who knew?
she's smart, she's moderate, and she debates really well. I mean, what more can you ask for?
It sounds like you're building her Tinder profile more than than why you like her as a candidate.
Well,
What more
no, I
can you
mean,
ask for in a girl?
oh no, I mean, she isn't my perfect. Obviously, I'm conservative, so I would prefer conservative, but those times are gone for a while. So
What even is conservative nowadays?
I don't know how many Trump stickers you have on your bumper. That's but going back to it, it's like I don't think Klobuchar, like her lane to win is like to win Nevada and then South Carolina. And
Mm-hmm. I just don't see that happening.
yeah, it's by the time she gets to Super Tuesday, she's gonna be out of funds,
Mm-hmm.
and Hey, who knows? It's been a crazy race so far. No one thought Pete Buttigieg was going to win Iowa
No,
besides
no.
me and you,
I
like
thought
very late.
I was
I've
like
been
second place with him more, but it was close enough that I'll give myself a participation award too.
uh, see. I've been saying he was going to win Iowa for a long time, and I thought that was just a perfect fit for Iowa, and it happened to turn out. And I thought, like, like we were saying earlier, I really believe had Amy not done good in that debate, he would have won New Hampshire, and I
Yeah,
think it was pretty clear. I think there were some leaks from his campaign too, saying that
yeah, I was saying about that.
yeah, they actually thought Pete was going to win New Hampshire, and it was only because Amy started catching on fire because that debate on Friday, he ended up getting slowed down. So uh, it's interesting because had Sanders won it by 9 or 10 points, we would be having a different conversation.
We would, yeah. But that
But
leads me
he,
to a quick question, real quick. Um, with Nevada coming up in South Carolina, who do you believe of the two female candidates, Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar, which one? It's kind of a same question. Which one has a better chance of winning, and then vice versa? Who's going to drop out first, or who do you think has a better chance of not dropping out, and who's going
to
to drop
be
out?
honest, I'm surprised Warren is still in right now. I mean, you're from Massachusetts and you place fourth
That was all I saw. That was awful.
in New Hampshire, and like the media just ignores that. Like she's literally been in that. Um,
She keeps
she's
talking. Yeah,
been
she keeps talking about how I get all these grassroots donations and I'm doing good. It's not about the votes right now, but she's not doing good in any of the polls. She got third in Iowa, right? And then she got fourth in New Hampshire. She's got what,
it's she's
very
not
few
going to do
delegates
good in
right
the
now.
South. She's absolutely not going to do good
No,
in the
because
South.
in any of the female votes in the South, I believe it is going to go to Amy Klobuchar.
I mean, females just don't vote for other females, but in the
Mm-hmm.
end,
But
I
they proved
really
that in
feel like
2016 because Trump won the female vote, a lot of it, and that's what one of the reasons why Hillary lost was because of the female vote.
well, I'm really surprised that a lot of Warren's votes did go to Klobuchar. I guess I expected them to be like more Sanders, but it does kind of make sense. She has a whole hodgepodge of different people who are supporting her, and she kind of collapsed. She's only at single digits now, and I expect her to drop out probably after South Carolina, and
Yeah,
that's when I expect
I
her
can
to
see that.
drop out. I expect to see basically everyone in but like 3 people, maybe 4, depending on how South Carolina shakes out. And I guess I'll figure out who I'm voting for because there'll only be 2 or 3 people by the time Super Tuesday gets around.
Yep. Being such a late state, that's one of the negatives. Your candidates might drop out if you're supporting a smaller candidate. But let's move on to
Yep.
finally getting onto the predictions of Nevada. Um, what are you, who are you predicting to win? And if you want to, you don't have to. Give me your top three
Uh,
in order.
no, Nevada is really hard because it's not just a primary, it's a caucus. So it's like Iowa, but even weirder because you have the casinos and all the different
And the
like
gambling and the
unions and
Raiders.
the gambling, well, and the Raiders now. Um,
Little plug there.
so
If you want to listen to us talk more about the new Las Vegas Raiders, go watch our other podcast, Pick Six, as we have an episode out now, which we talk about the Las Vegas Raiders and if we believe Las Vegas is a good city or not for football.
nice shameless plug. Nice.
Someone's got to do it. Why not me?
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go back to Pete. I feel like if he wins it by narrow margin. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a three-way tie, like 3 people at 21%, and then the rest at like single digits.
So you got Pete
It's
winning.
gonna, yeah. I would say
Okay.
Pete
Someone's a Pete
slash
picker, huh?
tie. At no, Pete is gonna hit a wall with my prediction for him when he gets to the South. He's gonna hit a big brick wall. Um,
Huge.
Yeah, huge, huge. Yeah, that's my pick. What about you?
You want to do top three? You just want to do just you can't pick right now.
It would be Pete, Bernie, and then Biden.
Okay, wow, mine is going to be different than yours.
Oh, you have Clementum? Do you have Clementum in there?
Nope, I'm going to put finally securing this person's first win. I'm going to put number one. I think Joe Biden wins Nevada.
Wow.
I think the minority vote
That's
is
a
enough.
spicy take.
It's a spicy hot take, but I think he moves on. He wins. I'm going to give second place. I'll give second place to Pete.
Wow, you don't even think Bernie comes in?
I think Pete gets second. We'll get a share of the delegates. And I think your boy Bernie, Phil the Burn Man, gets third.
Mm-hmm.
That's my top three right now.
Does Bernie get 15%?
He gets just over 10%, I think.
10? Not even
under 15, over 10.
And if people don't know, you need in these primaries and caucuses to get above 15% to get delegates. So
Yes.
That's why that's an important number.
Yes.
So you think Biden ends
number.
up getting blowout win?
No. I think Biden and Buttigieg together gets blowout. I think Biden will get maybe 40%, 30%. Buttigieg will get about 30%. And then I think that you have people like Klobuchar that's going to get 10 to 12 and do it enough that Bernie just doesn't have enough leeway to get 15 and does not get any.
Yeah. Nevada is like the weirdest state because it's so hard to predict and they don't poll it. So it's going to be an interesting result.
All they got to do is pull Las Vegas because, I mean, there's not many more big cities in Nevada. I'm excited to see how Nevada turns out. It's going to be an interesting caucus/primary season. Hopefully get a good candidate in there to face Trump and see what we got in the unprecedented national election coming up in November. It's going to be one for the history books, to say the least.
Do you think it gets to a contested convention?
I think it's too early to tell right now for me. I know you think it will. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I got to see more states first.
I think I told you this earlier. The last primary went to June, and it like only ended 3 weeks before the convention, and that's with only 2 candidates.
Yeah.
This is going to probably end with 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It won't
5
end
for now.
5.
It won't last. Yeah. It'll be 3.
But yeah, I think it goes to a contested convention, and I don't think it gets solved on the first ballot. I really don't, because I feel like Bernie is gonna hoard his delegates. Like he's gonna be like King John from Robin Hood. He's just gonna be hoarding his delegates.
The old man on top of the throne.
Yeah.
Don't take it. The top 2%. Terrible Bernie Sanders impression.
Yeah,
you gotta do it.
Not good.
2%.
No, but if anyone wins it outright, it's probably going to be Bernie, and he has to start winning, and he has to win in southern states, and he hasn't proven that yet. We'll see on Super Tuesday. Right now, he's leading in a few southern states, for Super Tuesday polls, but that's always preliminary. He started leading in some states too 4 years ago, and he got destroyed in the South. So we'll see.
Yes, we will.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and catch us on the next Political Perch when we go over reactions to Nevada. We preview South Carolina, and I know Andy's going to enjoy that. We'll update you if Andy changes his opinion at all, which it probably will. It's a fluid situation. So until next time, have a great day.